Oh no, not a cheap tripod. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's all going wrong already. Right, finally we're back for another WR video. A couple of updates. Number one, I know a lot of people have been asking for kind of another update and some more stuff in the WR, so we are going to do some buildy bits today rather than just an update. There are a few bits I've done, but we're going to try and get it running today and sort out the coolant system. Get all the rad hoses attached and all clamped on, and then fill her up and try and get her started. I'm going to roll a fan quick and then I'll take you through what I've done since the last video. I can't really remember what we actually did in the last video. I think it was the spacers for the front wheel. But I'll take you through the bits we've done and what we're going to do today. So yeah, stay tuned. Right, so quick run around the bike to show you what I've done. The main thing being that we've got a brand new Supermoto plastics kit, blue and white, kind of classic Yamaha. I've also done some work to the throttle, so we now have a throttle cable. I'm not sure if that was on there before, I can't remember, but we now have a kind of throttle on there. I need to get some grips. We have a throttle cable that's all running down there and is attached, if it actually wants to, yeah, attached in there, all kind of hooked up properly. So that kind of throttle housing, throttle body, whatever you want to call it, was a kind of just a Halford's spray job. And then the other thing really, apart from plastics and the throttle going on, is the air filter. So the old air filter didn't have the cage with it, it was just kind of stuck in there, so I ordered a proper air filter cage, brand new air filter. It's all been oiled, that's gone in. Obviously the old exhaust is on, and we've still got the header from last time. That's pretty much all that's been done. We've tried to run her. You might see down there I've got a full sort of long distance Acrobus tank. That cost a fucking fortune, but they didn't put any O-rings in it, so I tried to put the taps in and run it, but obviously there was fuel piston everywhere. So we've got the stock tank back on, the old one. Obviously you can see a bit of coloration from sort of old stale fuel in there, which has all now been flushed out. It's got some new fuel in there. Quick thing, if anyone knows how to get rid of that, please let me know, because it's a pain in the arse. We tried to razor blade it off, didn't happen. So if anyone knows how to get rid of that, please let me know. But apart from that, today I want to get the cooling system all bled through, so you can see that we've got all the hoses are on, etc, etc, etc. But I just want to quickly clamp them up and then we'll get it started hopefully, and run the cooling system through and bleed it through with some coolant. So let's get to getting the hoses on hopefully. Okay, so I don't know what the angle of that's going to be like, but we're going to try and tackle this one first. So what we're going to do is try and loosen this one off. The bottom doesn't have a clamp on it, so loosen this one off, move that clamp down, and then we'll take that one out, take that hose off and try and get a clamp on the top. So I think I'm just going to loosen it off all the way, give us the most amount of leverage, and then kind of move her down the whole way, and then it's a bit thicker at the end, so it's just going to be a case of loosening it off some more, I think. Right, hopefully that's all good. Now I'm going to try the top of this hose off, which might be interesting. Considering I'm not the strongest person alive. Come on, you fucker. There we go. Finally got the hose off. So we've got a U-clamp to go on there. So let's get the clamp on first. Don't really care about that for the time being, and just try and get the hose back on. Come on. There we go. So that wasn't so bad actually. And then snug it up like that. Yeah, I'll probably do. Snug that in there. So that is that first hose on nice and securely. Let's move on to the next one. Right, so next we need the next big one. There are 4 in total, so this is number 2, and then there are 2 little ones that I'm going to take the tank off for. This might be a bit easier, we've already got 2 hose clamps on there apparently. Honestly, it's been so long since I've worked on this bike, I can't remember, but I've got my AT at the end of August, so I want to get this finished so I can ride it and enjoy it, and then I might sell it, but that's for another video. Right, let's get these done. Okay, so that is not going to work because that hose clamp is not catching, so we're going to have to replace that one. Let's just check down the bottom here, see if it actually wants to catch. It does, so we're going to do the bottom one up. We're going to actually move that one a bit further, so it's a little bit easier. And it's a start one. Nice. So we're going to replace that one as well, because it's just going to make it 10 times easier to actually get them tightened off, and they'll be a lot more secure on there. So give me 2 seconds. Replacing that one. Like that. Put that back on. Nice and easy. And then we can move that up and get it attached properly on there. Nice. It's going to be nice and secure on there. And same with the bottom one. We'll have to loosen that off as much as we can. I don't know if the bottom one is actually going to come off with that clamp on there. I've tried to tighten up, but I haven't actually really done a good job of. Let's try a 6mm. Yeah, nice, so it's a 6, so I'm actually just going to not replace that one and tighten it up, and it will just stay on there forever and ever, because I can't be arsed with getting it off. Yeah, that should be absolutely fine. Cool, so that's that one done. Now let's take the tank off and do the other 2. Okay, so the tank off, still got quite a bit shorter now actually, which is always good. So you've got one clamp on there, so I need to put one on that side, and then I don't think that bottom piece in there has no clamp, so that's going to have to come off completely, I think. Okay, so update is a few days later. I'm now ill, but I've decided that these are not going to come off without taking this right hand side radiator off. So I've taken the 3 bolts off that hold it on, 2 in there, they are there. So hopefully it'll mean that we can take this off and get access to these hoses without having to fiddle around in the middle. So I'm going to try and get that off now, and hopefully it slides off. There's one, and there's the other. That was easier than I expected, and now I have to just kind of prop that radiator up whilst I grab some hoses. It's a love-hate relationship with this thing. Come on, you little fucker. Hang on, be right back. Right, that's not good, I've got 1 more. And I need 4 more. I just need to pull 2 hose clamps up my arse from something. Right, so finally managed to get all the hoses clamped on. Rat's just going back on, and then before we can top up the coolant, we've got to get the overflow tank on, which is somewhere in that box, but we'll find that in a minute. But yeah, just going to put the rat back on properly, and then we can start mixing coolant. Okay, so we kind of have the last piece of the puzzle, which is the coolant overflow tank. This top one is a breather, this top hose that comes out the top of it, and the bottom one is attached to the radiator cap, or the sort of filler cap. So I was trying to kind of expand it a little bit to actually get it on there, because the stock rad, the bit that it attaches to, is actually thinner than the new one, so I was trying to kind of expand it a little bit, so I'm going to grab a lighter to try and heat it up a bit. Right, so yeah, that attaches to the top of the radiator cap. if we can actually get it on. Actually, it's not going to go. Hang on, we're going to need that long thing. See if I can find it. Hang on. Just leave it open. I mean, it's 20 years old, this, so I don't want to break it. Right, so I couldn't get the overflow tank on, the pipe on that's meant to, so it was that pipe that was meant to connect to the radiator hose cap there, or the radiator cap there. So I put the fuel tank back on, so now we're going to just run it without the overflow tank for a minute, bleed everything through, and then we can worry about that later. So fuel tank's back on and all piped in, hopefully ready to start. So now we're going to mix up the coolant. I don't know whether that's the right coolant, it's the same stuff I put in my MX-5, but it said, I looked it up, it said make sure you've got ethylene glycol in it, which it does, so apparently we're all good to go, we'll see. It's better than tap water as far as I'm concerned, so I've got coolant, mixing jug, and a watering can with water in it. And we're going to mix it sort of 1-to-1 ratio, and top that up, top the rads up, and then start it and let it bleed through. So yeah, let's mix some coolant. Oh, it's a nice colour. It's going everywhere. A little bit more. There we go. That's a litre in that. Good job. Add a litre of water. I don't know what the capacity is for this actually, I should probably look that up. Or some brown. That will hopefully mix as it kind of goes through the engine and mix a bit better, but let's chuck it in the bike and see how many of those we're going to need to fill it up. Yeah, I'll try not to spill this now, this is going to go fucking everywhere, isn't it? Oh, she's heavy. Okie dokie. Yeah, nice, that's half of it on the floor. I've coolant all over my feet because I don't wear shoes apparently. Yeah, that's going fucking everywhere. Lovely. Take the radiator cap off. Nice. I'm gonna get a funnel. Probably what I should have done in the first place. Can we use that? No. Or do we just send it? Can I use a makeshift funnel? Right. It's a bit rusty, but it's fine. Right. That is going absolutely fucking everywhere. Right, we're just going to send it. There we go. Okay, maybe do like 3/4 full and not fill the whole jug up. Right. So now you can see with the rag cap off that we're topped up on coolant. It's also all over the fucking floor. But now we're trying to start it and bleed it through. And so we'll just see what happens. So I can't wait to ride this one. If it starts this. We're so close. back up. The rad cap's gone back on. I'm a bit sweaty from all that kicking, but rad cap's gone back on. It's bled through a fair bit. Radiator's warm. It's smoking a little bit just from the way from the coating of the new radiators because they haven't been warmed up before. So we've run it without coolant for like a minute. And also I spilled half of it down the radiator. But that is now, hopefully, I mean I'm going to look at that obviously before we fully put the bike together, but that's something else done. The rad hose is all on. And yeah, that is fingers crossed sort of the cooling system bled through. I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, that is that's the cooling system all in place. Got coolant in the radiators now. She runs at least. I was a bit worried then, but she actually runs. And yeah, I think next time we're gonna probably check out that fueling issue, and we'll go from there really. But yeah, she runs.